From beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara podcast. Here's Jeff.
Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. And if you're on the other side of the planet, happy Sunday to you. I apologize about the start and stop. I'm just trying to do something a little bit different within my stream and how it sets up. And I didn't figure it out. And I thought it was going to work, but I probably have to test it out, not during the live stream. So if you guys see me like maybe during the day or another time of the day, popping in and out and doing stuff live, that's what I'm doing. I'm just kind of trying to set up my stream. So anyways, thank you guys so much for being here. I think we're going to have an amazing night. I've already got 5 people waiting to get on. So I think it's going to be a really busy night tonight, which is awesome. And if you were here last week, we went way over time. So I have it officially set up from 7 to 9. But if people keep showing up, I stay until there's nobody left. So we'll see how it turns out tonight. All right. So like I said, we have 5 people waiting. And so let's get to it. And thank you for loving the new music. I like it too. All right, so let's see. It's Fresh English School official email. We'll see who this is first. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hello. How's it going?
It's just more wild shenanigans all day long, every day.
All right. So I didn't recognize the email. I was expecting it under your name.
Oh, no, I guess it's set up for our company that my husband's working on.
All right. Tell everybody who you are and where you're at.
Oh, well, I'm Malia Audio, tuning in from Portland, Oregon.
All right, Malia, and hi.
Who else is joining us today?
Well, we have right now 79 people, and already, and we just started. So maybe by probably within 10 or 15 minutes, it should be like up to 150, or even faster than that.
Who else is speaking today?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just don't know until they show up. I have, if you want to know, Ariel's here, and she's been a guest. Messa, he's from the Netherlands. I know him.
That's
Jonathan.
Funny. I almost named my daughter Ariel.
Second
choice. It's a
what?
really powerful angel named Ariel.
When I hear Ariel, I think of Disney.
Right?
Right?
And there's a new Ariel, right? It's coming soon. The new Disney movie.
Well, that's true. So where do you want to start sharing with us? What do you have for us this evening?
Well, goodness, people don't know me yet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm coming at you because we recorded a few weeks ago.
Right.
I was talking about kind of my near-death experience and how I contacted a medium from the podcast. I contacted Megan Sforza.
Right.
And then a Japanese friend of mine came through and he said, "Don't give up." And then starting in the fall, I tried Reiki, and it turned a lot of things around for me. And I've been having a lot of angel signs and angel visitations, and being drawn back to God, and
Mm-hmm.
having some really positive changes in my life. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to talk about that in
Mm-hmm.
depth when we finally get a chance and
Right.
our work doesn't get deleted.
Right. This is the out of 700 podcasts, this is the only one I ever accidentally deleted. Isn't that amazing that at least I only have one?
Are you gonna save like 3 copies this time?
Well, that I purposely, I mean, not purposely, but it was like, I don't know what I was doing. I usually, they save to a certain place and then I usually hit download. And for some reason I was just like I was like in a trance or something. And instead of hitting download, I couldn't delete. And it was gone. I couldn't get it either.
Did you see that? Did you see the light flicker?
I didn't see that, no.
My lights just flickered. When I go to church, the lights flicker too.
Oh, wow. Well, why don't you, since we're saving your NDE for an actual podcast, why don't you share with us one of your angel experiences?
Well, I operate a little shop on Etsy, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Somebody ordered an item to Canada, and the name of the town is Lazarus. And then Lazarus is the man that Jesus brought back from the dead.
Right.
So that was just an interesting little Easter egg that I found. What else? I've just been getting all these like synchronicities and chances to do bucket list stuff of mine. Like, even though I kind of came into financial trouble, my NDE was the result of like a chronic illness.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten some really good opportunities coming up next month, which they can contact me if they want to know what's going on.
Do you ever see feathers or pennies or any other signs like that from angels?
Yeah, actually, even before my NDEs, like earlier in my life, sometimes when I was in a tight spot, I remember we tried to start a business in a different town in Gifu, in a different city at a different time, more than 10 years ago. And we were kind of failing that. Me and my husband were kind of fighting, and then a newspaper came, and there was a red feather in the newspaper. And then like we kind of played with the feather, and it cheered us up, and like we got out of our fight when we saw that feather.
That's interesting. Maybe
that's before I was. I mean, I'd had health problems, but I was in a pretty good place back then. We were just fighting because the business wasn't doing very well.
Maybe that was an angel intervention.
Maybe. We sure had fun, and we still talk about that silly little feather that showed up in an advertisement. And today I have a little peach face lovebird. She passed away.
Oh, my condolences.
We gave her an African name, Quechua, and I looked up, what does that mean? It means headhunter. And then kind of ironically, I've been approached by a lot of headhunters for jobs in the last week after she passed away.
Interesting. What kind of work do you do?
Birds are a really big part of my life. Like ever since college, I've kept parakeets, cockatiels, chickens, rabbits. At some point.
Do you experience deja vu very much?
When I was sick, I did. Like, I'd be at work, and like if I looked at something a certain way, it would kind of irk me, just in something with my brain. I was told maybe I was having silent seizures. But definitely. And then I've been having a lot of deja vu, just now that I finally have energy and I can drive around the town again. I've been like retracing my whole life. Today I stopped at my high school, and they were having a wrestling tournament, and the gates were open. Usually it's all locked up for security, but I just swung by, and I was impressed with all the construction they did to renovate my high school, and it just brought back memories of a lot of good things. Something I've been doing is I've been stopping by little free libraries. Some people set them up in their neighborhoods, like leave a book, take a book.
Yeah, that's cool.
Kind of thing. And like my favorite author when I was in high school, Amy Tan, came up, and this book is called The Opposite of Fate. And it says, best-selling novelist Amy Tan shares the story of how she escaped the curses of her past to make a future of her own. She takes us on a journey from her childhood of tragedy and comedy to the present day as her arrival of one of the world's best-loved novelists. Whether recalling arguments with her mother or introducing us to the ghosts in her computer, The Opposite of Fate presents a refreshing meditation on choices, charms, freedoms, and luck.
Hmm.
And that's kind of funny because my angel messages have been coming through songs, and it's kind of seems like my computer's spitting out things I'm not expecting or trying to access or anything.
Yeah, one thing we spoke about was that, from what I remember, somebody on the other side was speaking to you through songs on the radio, right?
No, he's not. I don't know who's speaking. It's more like something's like trying to connect me to something. It started out, I talked to Megan, and a deceased friend from college came through. He said, "Don't give up. Like you've always been sick, but you always pushed through anyway." And then I did see a song, but I didn't know the artist, but the song said good. I woke up in the morning and the song said "Good Morning Hide," and his name was Hide. Obviously, the song is about a different Hide that has a connection to whatever Japanese music group was singing it, but it's just like he's the one that came through. And yeah, that's Megan Sforza, she spoke on your broadcast before.
Right.
She's the one who channeled that, and when I was so sick, it brought me comfort, and she nailed it on the head. Like she said, "Oh, he's sitting in a car and he's coming through," and like his remaining Facebook photo is a picture of him in our truck when we were taking him around town.
Now,
Back in college.
She used to live, and I'm talking about you obviously, in Japan. And I don't know if you know this, but one of my guests, or one of my previous guests, was the head of Japanese MUFON. We talked about
what is MUFON?
the mutual UFO network, and they're ones that do UFO investigations. So I had the head of the Japanese MUFON on one time, and also
that is amazing.
I'm having, I think this week, is it this week? Let me look at my schedule. On Wednesday, I'm supposed to record a guy. I think you pronounce it Muzi. I'm not really sure how I pronounce his name, but a Japanese...
Muzi or Muji? He might be Muji.
Muji, M-U-Z-H-I, I think is how you spell it.
It might be Muji.
Muji. Anyways...
you'll have to confirm with him.
I don't know what... He has a book out, and he does something like helping people live to 300 years old or something like that.
I don't know if I want to be around that long.
So,
but I must tell you, my state of Oregon, we do have a UFO festival in a town called McMinnville.
Really?
Every spring.
Oh, that would be awesome.
We have like a McMinimans hotel chain. Actually, I was married in one of the McMinimans. I was married in McMinimans Forest Grove, which is kind of like a haunted. It used to be a hospital. It used to be like an old people's home.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's a hotel and party spot. But so that's where I was married. But down in another town called McMinnville, we have a UFO festival. Do they have a Bigfoot festival? I think so, right? Because like Washington State, Oregon State, we all got the Bigfoot hunters, right? Yep. He's supposed to live around Mount St. Helens, and on one of my treks around driving, I came down a peak in my sphere where I can drive, and I saw Mount St. Helens, which is pretty cool because that blew up around the time I was born. Yeah. Now it came back to life. Yep, I remember those days. Yeah, I think that whole Pacific Northwest is full of Bigfoot sightings, whether it's Oregon. I've never seen him, but Washington State, probably even Idaho and Northern California. Sometimes I nickname myself Sasquatch, sometimes. Well, there we are. Now we have a Sasquatch sighting. Yeah, from the little free library, I got one for my daughter, too. Oh, cool. It's awesome. Called Unicorn Princess Feathers Flight, which is kind of interesting because we just let go. We had a funeral for my bird today. Mm-hmm. my bird from college passed away, a little Quichua. And it said, Cassandra is surprised to learn there is an 8th unicorn princess named Feather whose magical ruby allows her to fly. And actually, my guides guided me to buy a ruby.
Oh, wow.
And I keep it in my pocket, and it has kind of the sacred hexagon geometry. I looked up like the significance of a hexagon because I just bought this randomly. I didn't belabor seeking this out. And it was like $2 or $3 on Etsy. And it's interesting that they talk about the ruby. And everywhere I go, we have like a company called Ruby Ice Cream Sandwiches. So I saw the Ruby ice cream truck, and it said like indulge in pure joy. And I've been really joyous the last few weeks.
Oh, great.
So it's pretty wild to see that this character in the book has a magical ruby that allows her to fly. Feather is an explorer, and she's back from her latest adventure. To celebrate, she planned a super fun sleepover.
Well, Malia, I'm going to have to run because I've got 4 people waiting on me. And I only give everybody a certain amount of time. But before I go, I wanted to let people know that you make stickers, right?
No, I import them.
Oh, okay.
But
so
I do have some handmade things and paintings.
So if people want to see your Etsy store, how do they find it?
It's pretty simple. It's my name, M Etsy, and then you can /shop/MAUT like tiger IO Mautio.
Mautio at Etsy?
No, it's Etsy.com/
Etsy.com/shop/Mautio.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, I can't wait to tell the whole story.
Cool. All right, Malia, I've got to run, but thank you for coming and popping in. And
will I be able to see other people's broadcasts?
No,
too?
you just go to YouTube right now, and if you hurry, you can, because there's a time delay on this. If you go right now, you'll catch the last 30 seconds of you.
Oh, that's scary. I don't know if I can watch myself. Okay.
All right, we'll see you later.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Love from Oregon.
All righty. Next up is Ben from the Netherlands. And then we'll go from there. As we're waiting for him. So we got a lot of people here, 188 people. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And if you want to get in and be with us live, then all you have to do is you can go to Zoom, click join a meeting, and if you see in the description below, there is the meeting or room ID, and then there's the passcode. So that's all you have to do, and then you can get in line. There's only 2 people in line. I thought there was more. Maybe someone left right when I came back. And then you can join us. And so let's see what's going on with his. We got his sound.
Yeah, I was quiet because you were talking.
oh, there you are. Welcome, Ben. How are you this week?
Good.
Nice to see you.
Except the internet connection. It's bad as always.
So what do you got new for us today?
Well, my soulmate, who I'm channeling,
Yes.
she said my grandfather, who passed away during my psychosis, would come to visit me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there goes my internet again, but I hope I don't freeze. And he did.
Uh-oh, you're locking up.
At least twice these past 2 weeks. Wait a moment.
I missed that. You were frozen.
Okay,
Can you repeat yourself, please? Or you were frozen?
Oh, sorry. My soulmate predicted my grandpa would visit me.
Okay.
My deceased grandfather, and he did so twice in the past 2 weeks.
So your soulmate said that your deceased grandfather had visited you over the past 2 weeks.
No, she said he would visit me, and then he visited me.
He will visit you.
Visited me. Yeah. And he did.
How did he visit you? Was it in a dream, or was he appearing in your house?
Yeah, in a dream. In a dream.
Did he look young or did he look old?
He looked old.
Interesting.
like mid 70s, not as old as he did when he died.
How old was he when he crossed over?
92.
92. Wow, that's amazing. Good for him. He had a long life. So in his 70s, interesting. Maybe that was his choice of, of his appearance, right?
Yeah, he was most comfortable at that time because he was with, he had pension and he had his gardening life and stuff. I think he would have preferred 60s, but I think he was afraid I wouldn't recognize him
Right.
because I don't recognize him younger than like 60, 70 years old.
That makes sense. So it sounds like it was a contact dream. What happened when you contacted him?
Well, it wasn't much. First time, he had gray clothes on,
Mm-hmm.
and he appeared to us when we were cleaning the home in my dream, and he sat down on cabinets we made so that so the cat can sleep on it. And he sat down there, and then I wanted to say something, but my soulmate stopped me and spoke before me, and she said something really cryptic that I can't remember right now. And he smelled and he left, like in a gray splotch.
Right.
So, and the second time, I was at a bus stop in a dream, and I was watching something on the map. The map has some sort of 3D flat screen TV on it, and I was watching something, and then he sat next to it, and I recognized all his clothing, and then he just waved at me, and he disappeared, like the Avengers, like Peter Parker who died at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was like that, but the particle effect was different. It was like all rounded shapes disappearing. So it was like that, and it was really weird. And he didn't even smile, so I don't know if he's really happy. But my grandpa wasn't one to show much emotions other than boredom.
Do you feel like you had any sort of closure after seeing him?
Yeah, a lot, because my psychosis was so that I only had the option to view everything and see everything and witness everything. So I couldn't really mourn. But I don't feel I need to mourn anymore because I know he's in a good place.
Yes. That's great. That's great that you
Yeah.
have that, you have that comfort now that, he's okay.
Yeah.
It's great.
I have nothing left to tell except this. I will message you on Facebook. Let's do the video
Okay.
that you wanted to do. I'll try to be honest. When I'm talking, I don't even know half of the time if I'm talking or they are talking. So it's a bit hard to channel something and be direct to you without sounding like I'm lying or something, like someone else is talking for me. So I had to think about it for a few weeks, and I think we're ready for it.
All right, great.
So I'll mail you on Facebook or on
okay. Yeah, contact
Discord.
me on reach out to me on Facebook.
Okay.
All right,
I'll mail
Ben.
you. Bye.
All right, bud. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Take care. And he's gone. I got lucky. I almost just turned off the whole stream. It's a good thing that I didn't. All right, next up is Dan. Oh. And then we got Ariel, and Ariel has been one of my guests here too. So it's great to have Ariel return. And Ariel is one of the guests that during her NDE, I believe, woke up in a pod like the Matrix. So this is going to be interesting on what we're going to talk about. First is Dan. Dan, hi, can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Welcome. All right, thanks for joining us. Have you been on before?
No, I haven't. This is my first time.
Well, welcome. And where are you zooming from?
Maryland,
Maryland.
USA.
All right,
Yes.
great. Well, thank you for joining us. And what do you have to share?
I'm actually I don't really know why I'm here. I guess just wanted to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of the participants in the shared crossing project.
I get those emails. I don't even know what that's about. I just kind of there's a man on there. He looks familiar.
William Peters.
Yeah, I think he's the head of that. What is all that about?
Yeah, it's a study for shared death experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And shared crossings is a term he coined to kind of separate different types of experiences depending on the timelines. Like a shared death experience would be when you're right at the bedside. A shared crossing experience would be if you were in another room or in another state or in another country. And there's different variations and timelines for them to study for that.
So have you had either one of those experiences?
I had it would be I originally thought it was a shared death, but it's a shared crossing because I was in another room when it happened.
Do you care to share it with us?
Yeah, I'll talk about that. It's
Great.
I was listening to some of your other guests, so I figured these kind of stories fit.
It's perfect.
So it was with my mother back in 2015. She passed away. Prior to her passing, about a year and a half where she passed, my stepfather had passed, and we started getting all kinds of synchronicities and things like that.
Okay.
And so by 2015, she was really sick, and we were all. It was me, my brother, and a hospice nurse sitting around her. She couldn't speak or anything like that at this point. So we all had left. I went up to the bathroom, and so I was awake. I was conscious. It was middle of the day, like not middle of the day. It was like about 10:30 in the morning. I'd been up since about 6 o'clock in the morning. I'd taken a shower. I was drying off. When I turned around, I froze in place. It was basically like if you hit pause on a video game. I just paused, and right as I paused, in my left ear, I could hear music. It was kind of like strings, but different. But it was kind of fading in, and as it was fading in, I was basically fading out of this reality. All of a sudden, I'm basically floating in space, but it was kind of like a portal. I could see on the other side of this portal my mom's face, but I was kind of coming into it. So I'm guessing that was a tunnel. But it didn't look like a tunnel. It was very translucent. And when I saw my mother's face, she was looking up, kind of like this. And but her body was translucent as well, with a little bit of rainbow shimmering kind of up and down her body, kind of like if you were shining like water over sunlight, kind of, that little shimmer. But at the same time, it's music. I could hear music. I didn't hear any voices or anything or any messages like that. I just heard music and just this rumbling of like water or something. And every time I heard that noise, she would go up faster and faster. And there was the last thing I saw was like, basically when I'm looking at everything else, it was like outer space, like just kind of like little pinprick lights, but they look like stars. But right in the middle was this giant hole, and it looked like somebody cut out a hole in this dark space, and I could see like a green, really bright green, like meadow beyond this hole. And standing in front of the hole was my grandparents waiting for my mother, and that's very significant for her because they both passed away right next to her when she took care of both of them. So for them to greet her was very, very, synchronistic too. So everything just kind of culminated, like as she was heading towards this hole, and then the music just got really intense and really loud. And then all of a sudden it just faded real quick. Oh, and then all of a sudden I'm back and, standing in the bathroom. Now at this point, I didn't know my mother had passed. So as soon as I opened the door to the bathroom, I open it up. The hospice nurse yells up, says, "Dan, you have to come down here." As soon as I came down, he goes, "Your mother just passed away."
Wow.
So it was like that timing was within seconds of me getting the note. I mean, we were just all right next to her, and he told me that's very common when a lot of people leave the room. That's when a person will leave their body. So like we were all standing around her. She was breathing. She like I said, she wasn't speaking, but she was still, you could still see she was breathing. And then it was me and my brother in the hospice room. My brother went to go check some emails. I went in another room. I went upstairs, and the hospice nurse went out to the kitchen. And within I wasn't upstairs that long. I'd take quick showers. Like within 5-10 minutes, she was gone. And I had that vision like within seconds of that happening. So that was pretty powerful. Sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. Thank you for sharing that story. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Are you saying that your body just stood there frozen, and while it was frozen, you left your body and had an OBE and kind of went with her, but your body was still just kind of whatever, right?
Yeah, it was just frozen, but I wasn't aware of my body in the bathroom until it was done. It wasn't like I was in that bilocation where I knew I was in the bathroom, and I was like in the bathroom, it froze. I heard the music, and by the time it got kind of loud in my left ear, I was from one to the other.
Did the hospice nurse tell, let me go back. The hospice nurse said it's common for people to die when they're alone, when everybody leaves the room. Did the hospice nurse say why they do that?
It's I mean, that's basically, it's just a pattern they notice. It's not really a reason why. I mean, you can come up with a theory of they don't want the loved one to see the last moments of passing, so they wait till they leave. There's also a reverse pattern that happens where they won't die until somebody shows up, and as soon as they show up, within a few minutes to a couple hours, they'll pass away.
When you say somebody shows up, that means somebody showing up to greet them on the other side.
Somebody significant. No, I mean like say a mother's sick and they're waiting for their son or daughter. When the daughter shows up,
physically,
physically, somebody on this plane. Yep.
Maybe they just want to get some last message out before they go or something.
Some kind of feeling or comfort. I have no idea. It's very strange. It seems to me almost not by accident.
So
some of these dying instances.
So how did this change you, this experience?
Well, I wasn't, at first I thought, I had that experience, to kind of ease my mind of where my mom went. And I had to backtrack a little bit. We were studying near-death experiences a lot that last year. She was really concerned about where she was going. She was an atheist. And by the time I was done going through your research and like speed research and things, I kind of was just giving her summaries of books and saying, look, this is what everybody's saying that it's going to look like on the other side. I was like, I can't tell you because I haven't been there, but this is multitude, Raymond Moody and all these different books. I kept, telling her and sharing with her and saying, look, same thing. And so it kind of helped ease her mind of, that panic of, I don't know what's going to happen to, well, maybe this is what's going to happen. And so with studying those near-death experiences, that kind of opened us up to the idea that, well, maybe you can send me a sign back. Maybe we can plan this ahead of time. So I told her, I was like, send me a sign that I know it's you, like I said, don't be cheap and send me like, I mean, I love, you know, seeing butterflies and birds and all that, but that's kind of like a very big message. Like, give me something that says, yeah, hey, Dan, this is me. Yeah. And so that was, I couldn't deny it because I saw her face,
Right.
you know, going up to that hole, and I saw my grandparents. So, you know, that was kind of a planned event too. So that was kind of strange that, and so that made it kind of hard to tell people too, because other people heard me say that to her.
Mm-hmm.
And they were probably like, yeah, well, it's probably wishful thinking that you had that vision, you know. And I'm like, well, you know, it wasn't a dream because I wasn't nowhere near asleep. And I've never had anything like that happen like that.
Did it feel as real as you and I talking right now?
Yes. I don't want to say like I didn't. It to me, it didn't feel like a near-death experience because it didn't have that whole more real than real. It just felt like I was here. Then I was very confused. Like I got to be the worst. Like if I was, you know, if I have any kind of paranormal experience, I'm like the worst person to have a paranormal experience because I'm so confused when it happens. I'm just looking around like, what is going on in here? Instead of just being centered and going, wow, okay, I'm having an out-of-body experience, I'm like almost like in a panic. What is happening here? And so I'm not real good at, you know, the observing all the details, but I get what I can. So I have, you know, different experiences, but they're not as I don't know, interesting, I guess, as some of your other guests.
Well, you know, have you had any other contact with her since then?
Yeah, I mean, I
Like
had
in dreams?
yeah, I had just like I get feathers a lot from her. You know, I get here, I'll show you. I keep them here. So see, I get a lot of
Oh, wow, it's amazing.
a lot of hawk feathers, you know, crow feathers. Try and get it focus here. God, I'm terrible at this. So I get feathers a lot. One other thing, I get a lot of like internal messages from her. Hummingbirds was a thing she taught me how to draw them in. Here it's like you make the water, but you make it like with an intention, and they always follow me. They know where my feeder is, no matter where I move to. They always show up. So
Do you feel like you've kind of crossed the veil yourself a little bit?
a little bit, yeah, something happened there. But that wasn't my only event that where I felt really like a transformation. The other event, I don't want to take up too much of your time. So but real quick, I had a friend of a friend who passed away, and we were at a memorial. So I don't know if this was a spiritual thing or a UFO thing, but I was driving home and I saw these weird lights in the sky. And but I didn't see like a ship or anything like that, but they were really low, like to the right above the tree line. So and it was big as a house. It was silent. I had my window down. I didn't hear anything. It was just this really like crazy flashing orbs, I guess, about 40 or 50 of them flashing around like in a almost like in a bell shape. But you know, it was kind of like that, and they were just looked like casino lights, and they just went and just took off. And the weird thing was, when it took off, it left a streak in the sky of like smeared colors. So I don't know what that was.
This was after your after the crossing?
No, this was in 2012.
This is before, huh?
Yeah, it's about 3 years before. Now the weird thing is when I was staring at these lights for a little while, like they were over to my left, and I'm driving, and I'm like drifting, going, what the hell is that? And inside my car was flashing, like it looked like a disco inside my car. I mean, my car was like light brown, and it was like pink and blue and red I'm looking at my dashboard going, what the hell is, again, I'm confused. Like, what the hell is going on here? What is going on? And so, but right at that time, I'm staring at these lights, and I tried to explain this to my friends. I think I scared them. Like, I lost a lot of my friends after I talked about this UFO experience. But I told them, I was like, I don't know what happened, but it felt weird, like something in my head clicked, like a switch, or, and it was really loud, like clack. And so, oh, I'm sorry. And so what was weird was after that is my whole life changed. Like I didn't I wasn't interested in like meditation or breathing, focused breathing or anything like that until after that happened. It was like something put me on a trajectory. And then from that point, I had that shared death experience, put me on another trajectory. So now I'm studying to be a end of life doula.
Cool.
So that's kind of where that's kind of leading me. And to answer your question, I did have a contact with my mother. I had to sell her house. She lived down in Florida. I live in Maryland. So when she passed away, I had to go down there and help fix the house. And I was sitting in the bathroom. She had a bathtub in there, so I sat in the bathtub after working on her house, and I was thinking about her. It's about 2 weeks after she passed, and I was thinking about her, and a light flicked on in the bathroom, and it made a really loud click, like somebody actually hit the switch. And that's not the first time that's happened. Right before she passed, she told me a story where she was in that same bathroom, but she was in the shower. She was thinking about my grandfather who passed away. That same light clicked on.
Wow.
It was about 2 weeks after he passed away. And it was weird because she goes, I never told anybody about this, but that happened. And it's one of the things where we're talking and she goes, it's funny you say that. I get, you get that a lot when you start getting synchronicities and say, well, it's funny you say that because, I had this experience because we were talking about something and it reminded her of that experience because she had forgotten about it. And so we both had that. So I did have like some kind of physical contact communication with her after she passed, as well as the shared death experience or shared crossing.
Before we go here, what is your involvement with the shared death project thing?
I just did an interview. That's all.
Okay.
I just did an interview. They gave me a bunch of questions and then I go into the database and I'm just one of the participants. That's all. Out of I think about 200 or 300 participants, and I know that they were getting more and more as I was as I did mine. They were already they had a backlog of people they were doing. So
that's great. That's great. Yeah. Well, Dan, thank you for coming and sharing with us. You had a great, like, I don't want to call it a story because it's an experience. So you've shared with us a great experience, and I appreciate you coming and being with us and sharing tonight.
Well, thank you for having me on. Thanks for listening, everyone.
All right. You take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Oh, he's already gone. All right, so that's cool. I think I should do more shared death experiences. What do you guys think? If I don't have many people approach me on that, but would you like to see full-on videos of or more of shared death experiences? Let us know in the chat. And coming up next is Ariel. We haven't seen it. Let's see what Ariel's up to here.
Hello.
Hi, Ariel. I can hear you. We just can't see you.
All right, sick. There we go.
Oh, you were there, and then you. And
there.
All right, you're halfway
I'm
there.
not sure why it's not letting us have the camera. Oh, there we go.
All right, there you go. All right, welcome back, Ariel. So Ariel is one of my guests, and we spoke about her near-death experience, and now she's in San Francisco. Or at least it looks
I'm in
like
San
it.
Diego. I'm in San Diego area, Ramona County area. Exactly is where I'm at. Is Ramona of San Diego County. So
That's awesome.
enjoying the rain we've been having.
Yeah, I've heard there's been like a unprecedented amount of rain down there.
It has been like just insane. Like I've been here working out on 32 acres here, and we just had so much rain it put us out of work for a little bit here. So now we got to fix our roads up and everything.
So for those of you that don't know, Ariel, I don't know, do you know what podcast number you are?
Oh geez, no idea.
I don't either. Let me see if you're in my but Ariel did a podcast, gosh, I don't know, how long ago was it? How many months ago do you think it was?
It was probably in maybe, wasn't it late August, maybe?
Probably something like that. I was trying to look real quick, but I can't seem to find it. I wanted to give people the title so they can look it up. And
I know The Matrix was on there.
The Matrix is like either that or a pod. Let me see if I put pod in the title and see if that's. I'm just kind of like looking on my other computer here. I'm running off two computers to just see if I put words in when I can search through my videos. Unfortunately, when I search as far as a name, it's difficult to. Let me try a couple more things. So then if people want to find you, they can find you. There it is. It's called Woman Discovers We Are Living in a Matrix. What is it? A Matrix-like simulation during her NDE. So she is one of my few. There are more people coming forward now and saying that we're in the Matrix. So I don't know if it's happening and people just didn't feel like they wanted to come out and share, or what. You know, do you think you felt hesitant on sharing something like that because it's, you know, similar? I mean,
it took me 2.5 years to really integrate everything into, you know, to come to a place to actually just have the guts to finally just go, you know what, I need to speak of this. You know, I had to go through quite a journey to get to the place of being able to speak of the experience I had. I tried to share my NDE before with others, and I think I just shared like the entrance, and then I left it at that, you know, and I didn't go further. I just went, well, I don't think we're supposed to share it. That's where I was at first. So, but yeah, I've noticed there's been quite a domino effect since I shared. I've noticed that quite a bit.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, and maybe you after you sharing, people felt more comfortable sharing something that's similar.
It kind of feels like that. I've even been noticing that here. Like, I mean, I'm like up on 32 acres. Just I'm a CEO here, helping this person create their business and their dream, and like literally people are coming in droves. Like, we had like a handful of different shaman people come up here, and they literally came because they felt drawn to come and talk to me about some of this stuff. So it seems like that's kind of been a domino effect with a lot of people. When some of the stuff people have come and talked to me is about what they're going through and even integrating what they've gone through. So there's other NDs that don't even talk about their experience that came and talked to me. So I noticed it definitely did something. So if I can be in the mountains and someone find me, it means something, I think.
I was thinking about something recently, and actually just as recently as the last guest, and someone else kind of mentioned this, and I'll see what you think. Do you think it's possible that after somebody has an NDE, well, let me backtrack on this. Let me kind of preface this first. Quite a few of my near-death experiencers after their NDE start seeing UFOs. So do you think that after someone has an NDE and they start seeing UFOs, that the aliens are checking in on them because they know they've had that experience, or whatever these beings are.
That or we're being watched, because I mean, even myself, people have pictures of things above my van in every place that I go to, and it's even a joke. They're like, "Okay, let's go," and they open their door and they go to see if where I'm parked, if there's a light or something shining above my van, so I've noticed that since I've come back myself, to say what it is. I mean, as you can tell, it took me 2.5 years to speak because I had to go and see things for myself to bring it into the fullness to understand, like, okay, I'm not crazy. This is, this is here, you know? But I've had these experiences. Friends have phone calls with me and have videos of orbs flying around them while they're talking to me on the phone, all different colors and everything. So it's something that is very apparent and noticeable in the to with me. Um, and my friends are noticing it. So I'm not the only one who sees it. So is it them watching us? It feels like that in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like I'm being watched.
Now,
Definitely.
I think this will be an interesting question for you. I recently had a guest that basically he's saying that reincarnation is a soul trap and we're just forced to keep coming back here because they're living off our energy. But I think in your experience, we're talking about, we keep coming back here because we were sleeping while we're traveling to somewhere else. And that would make sense too, that if you're there, if we're all lying in bed somewhere and we're not where we need to be yet, that's why we're forced to come back. What is your take on that?
Yeah. There's kind of like two sides to that, because remember when I was telling you at the beginning of my story how there was the two doors, but there was also the light, and I said I knew not to go to the light. And going to the light is that recycling. Like you go to that light, you're back. You're born into another being. And so you got a whole new life, and your memories and everything are gone. Well, when you're a baby, they're there. They're definitely there, but through everything we put on our children, the memories are lost, right? And then we're in the processes of what we're all in now, where we go seeking instead of looking within to discover. But we're always looking for that mystery that we feel like we're missing.
Hmm.
But if you think about it, I mean, that would be like someone with amnesia or whatever, the same kind of thing. Those memories are always held within ourselves, no matter those being. Are we an energy being? Are there things that feed off of our energy? Yes, there is. There is definitely. And that's one of the messages that I teach. Like, I teach a series on my YouTube channel. And then I also have been teaching on my live on Facebook. And I'm trying to tell people, like, we need to change the way we are in society, because if we don't pay attention to the energies we're fueling the wrong energies, and that does affect, like a domino effect, to all of us. And are there things that feed off of that? Darn straight they do. Otherwise we wouldn't have the continuous of chaos, right? So we've been in a misguided simulation. We're supposed to be in a paradigm, but we're in a misguided system. And that's why it's like important for those of us to get to see these outer realms and see these other truths, to take them and integrate them into ourselves so we can be that light. If what I said caused a domino effect, great. It hasn't been easy on my life coming out like that. I came from a very religious background, so you can imagine the relationships that walk away when you come publicly out like that. And I never expected when I came to talk to you that it would just go off like that either, right? So I was like, whoa, whoops, I did it now. Like, I might as well keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that answers your question exactly, but
Okay, so you're saying that if you cross over and most likely you may see the light, and you feel like if you go to the light, you're immediately going to get recycled instantaneously.
I'm not certain if it's like an instant, like in our aspects of instant, because time is so different there than here, right? Like, I mean, heck, I was gone for whatever minutes it was gone for, but to me, I was gone for years, right? Because I went through many dimensions. So the experiences to me were way greater than the minutes we calculated on Earth. But yeah, we go through what I saw in my own experiences going through the realms and stuff is that every place had that and that light. And it just seemed like you were put back in to go live another experience at that moment. Like, and I mean, if you think about it, it's also your idea to do that. You're not ready to walk through any of those doors. You know, nothing shifts, whether from life or death, really. You're in a pod, you're in a matrix. It's like those games. You took the game off and put it off for a bit.
So if you don't go to the light, what do you do instead?
Well, then there's the two doorways, is what I came across. And
How do
one, you
you,
always face your shadow.
sorry to interrupt you, but how do you
Face
know
your
which door to choose?
I think in both those doors you could go in either or. One was just a choice of going through more than what you needed to, which is what I do all the dang time in life. And I chose to take the more difficult route, which then brought me through many dimensions instead of just going through the process of our own dimension and being what I needed to get to the answers of light and creation and all that. I went through all of them. So I went through different forms of species living in their realms was what I did, which wasn't, I don't recommend it.
You don't recommend it.
Don't take it the long way. Don't take that tiny little door unless you really, I mean, it was, yeah. And I mean, coming back with what I came back with is a lot too. You know, I had to take 2.5 years to integrate, and I still integrate the things that I have come out, because I'll be talking, people ask questions, and it's all of a sudden another thing is unraveled, and I'm sitting there just as I'm talking going, oh wow, I knew that, and it was there, and I didn't, you know, and then now it's out, and then it starts integrating within my being, so it's a different experience, right?
I don't remember, and I apologize for that, but why or how did you end up coming back?
Again, here I didn't even have to, um I didn't even have to at all. I literally fought to come back, and I sometimes, with especially with me fighting for my life right now, I kind of go, wow, you knew you were coming back for this. You knew we were gonna fight this, and you still begged. And it was love. It was my two sons. Um, they didn't handle me gone, and they already lost their dad, and they took their lives. And the process of taking your life in the realms, I mean, no matter what, we have to face our shadows and our disbeliefs in life. It's the only way to walk through to that eminent light. But to go through that, it's like that movie, in a sense. The guy made that movie, Soul, I think it's called, or that Disney movie where
Yeah. I
you
know.
know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
But there's like they show those guys, the characters, where they became black and they're shouting out, trying to wake them up out of that dark spot. It's kind of like that with someone who takes their life. You know, it's a process to have to awaken from that darkness that took you to ripping you out before you got to your perfect puzzle piece. Because we're all these unique puzzle pieces, but part of the ultimate puzzle of the cosmos. So if you're not fitting somewhere, you're not rejected. It's just because you need to go get to the place where you belong as part of your place. But we take our lives too soon, and then that's quite a process to awaken, to walk through those doorways, right? So I didn't want my kids going through. I came back for that to stop
Right.
them,
Right. That's great.
and I did.
Go ahead.
No, and I did stop them. I was there for them those days that they tried to do that.
I read on Facebook that you were having physical health problems, and you just mentioned that you're fighting for your life. How are you holding up physically?
It's been a challenge. Today's like, I've been actually quite sick today. I was almost wondering if I was going to need to check out before I got on here, but it's a challenge, you know. It's not been easy, but I'm up in a good environment. I think being off grid and helping build a off grid community and retreat center has been healthy for me and good for me. And I try not to give it any credit. You know, I just treat the symptoms and give my body what I need to give to treat everything.
All right. Well, I need to run to the next person, Ariel, but thank you so much for coming in and sharing with us. Before I go, if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way if they want to reach out to you?
Well, I do some lives on Ariel Hooper on Facebook, and then I also have a YouTube channel called Mom 420. I do plant medicine, and I also teach about all of this stuff. And I even leave room for questions and everything on both those things. I also have TikTok, which is Lionheart Truth, is that one's under. So,
do you have like a link tree or something that if you go to this one place, it gives everything?
Yes, I do have a link tree. And it's under Mom 420 is my link tree.
What was that again?
And then it's under the Mom 420.
Mom,
I have it on.
Did you say Mom 420? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well,
it's my plant medicines.
Plant medicines. All right. Well, Ariel, thank you so much. Let's all say a prayer for Ariel and hope that she gets back to 100% physical health so she can keep doing her work. And, we wish you the best, Ariel. Thank you so much for coming on, and have a great rest of your evening.
All right. Thank you. Take care.
All right. You too. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Tristan, thank you so much for that super thanks. 1111. We really appreciate that. And love and light to you as well, my friend. Do you know the name? And while I'm here, before I get to the next guest, I want to say thank you very much to Robin Waters. She made, for us, our own personal JeffMara mug that she made for us. Looks like there's some orbs there. And then she put JeffMara podcast, and you can see.
This all means something. Jeff, elevate, you can see for
right. Right. So if you see here, she put Jeff for JeffMara, and she spelled it out. Jeff elevates frequencies for making I can't read it backwards. Ascended realities appreciated. And then for podcast. Purely opening dynamic consciousness aligns serene transmissions. So this is very cool. Thank you so much, Robin. I hope you're here. And if you're not, I hope you'll see this at some point. And so thank you for this. All right. So next up is Julie. And we'll help Julie get in. Hopefully she'll be here. And so we were talking about Facebook earlier, and if you look down in the description, maybe she's here. Let's see, we'll help her. And I was going to say that I'll say it later. Julie, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome.
Hi.
Have you been on before? You look familiar.
No.
You haven't? All right. Well, where are you zooming from?
I'm from Ontario, Canada.
Ontario. All right. Welcome.
Yeah.
Well, what do you have to share with us?
Well, I'm just going to pull it up. Some really funky pictures of, sorry, multitasking, of what I perceive to be UFOs.
Okay, I'll allow you to screen share. Do you want to screen share?
I have no clue how to do that, so I'll just turn my camera around if that's cool.
Okay, that's cool.
Does that work?
Yeah, of course.
Maybe. There. Okay. So,
wow. Now you took these pictures?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's a bunch of different nights, and then it gets there's a cool one, but there's a really, really weird.
Now, how far do you think this craft was away from you when you took these?
Oh, I have no idea about distance.
That looks neat.
Sorry.
How often do you see UFOs?
I've seen them a lot in the summer, and then sorry.
Are you in Toronto?
Close, yeah, about 45 minutes north of that.
So since you're not in the city, are you like kind of like out in the country? Or like in
Compared to Toronto, yes.
Right. All right.
But this is the really weird one. I'll go back to it. Sorry. This one. So this one that I'm going to show you next. Okay, I'll show. So that was the first, and then I zoomed in on it. Look at that. It's got like a hole and
yeah. Pull it back just a little bit because it's blurry. Maybe there. There you go. Yeah, that's interesting. It looks like there's trees or bushes or something, or maybe you saw it through the trees.
Nope, that's the sky. That's this thing. See the same little speckles?
Yeah.
And then I just zoomed in much closer. And I think I got one, and that's it, a little bit farther away.
Maybe was it cloudy that night?
No.
Maybe that, the light from the ship is illuminating something and the air particles around it or something.
I don't know. Pretty cool though, eh?
It's very cool.
Yeah. And then there's I get all kinds of really good photos. I don't know what exactly that is, but it's like a shape within a shape. Yeah.
After you saw your very first UFO, did it change you? Did you wow, UFOs are real, and then you were freaked out or anything?
So it actually came into my consciousness I never used to believe, not that I didn't believe in UFOs, but I never really thought of them. I never watched Star Trek. I still haven't. I never watched Star Wars, nothing sci-fi. But as a child, my favorite toy was Alf.
Alf?
The alien life form? Alf?
Yeah, like an Alf doll or an Alf plush?
Yeah, I still have lots of
them.
them.
Cool, from the old show.
Yeah, so he was my favorite friend.
There he is. That's so cute. Yeah. That's great.
So beyond that, I didn't know anything. And then all of a sudden, I was out walking my dog, and when you just know something in your consciousness, and it's like, is that it was a flying light in the sky, and I looked at it and I stopped walking, and it did not a normal, it was like zigzagging all over the place, and I was like, holy actual F. And then so it came into my consciousness, and then I started learning more about it, and then I started attending near-death experience groups, and came to realize that I was actually dead in the uterus quite a few times before I came out without anybody really knowing.
How did you figure that out?
Well, just recently, my mom told me quite often she couldn't feel me kicking, and pretty much every time actually they could never find a heartbeat with me in there. And long story short, my whole life I've never fit in, beyond never fitting in, like most people. And most of the near-death experiences, once from the groups that I go to, they all experience kind of how I was born. I've always known things. I've never fit in. Talk to angels, see lights. I love the feather guy. God bless your heart. Feathers and angels. But never really thought much about it, except that I've kind of lived with these interesting, odd thoughts my whole life. Never met an alien to my recollection yet, knock on wood. But yeah.
Do you think there is a UFO connection to NDEs? And if so, what is it?
I have no idea, because I don't even remember I don't remember being in the uterus, so I haven't gone that far yet. But yeah, why not? If you're traveling the cosmos out of your body, yeah, why not? What a great time. What a great time to meet them.
So do you have any other paranormal experiences besides the UFOs? Do you have any psychic abilities or anything else?
Yeah, I tend to kind of know how people are thinking, kind of what they're thinking. Intuition, we'll call it. Yeah, I've always had it my whole life. definitely like being able to know when somebody necessarily doesn't quote like me. And then I thought, well, maybe I'm just taking it personally. And I went down that whole path. No, I actually know when, when someone doesn't like me, even through emails and stuff. It used to be kind of a curse, but it's a gift. I was in the psych ward a few times and experienced some really weird stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Paranormal or not, but you know, my phones were tapped. I've got videos of my phone typing to itself like for half an hour. But you know, in the real world, that's impossible. That can't
Mm-hmm.
happen. But, well, it happens.
Have you ever experienced a loss of time during
Oh, yeah.
viewing these UFOs while viewing them? Like
No,
perhaps you were abducted or something?
no, not to my recollection. No. But I recently have a good friend that while he was in the hospital, he had his leg amputated.
Mm-hmm.
He woke up in a spaceship.
Wow.
Yeah,
Like an
I know.
NDE?
No, he wasn't dead. He was he had come out of the surgery and he was going into the recovery, like he was in the recovery room, and he thought he was hallucinating. And I was like, well, maybe you are. And then I kind of showed him some pictures, and he's like, that right there. And he was pointing to some tall grays. And he could vividly remember the spaceship. And apparently he hasn't divulged much, but they've come to visit him again to help him
Wow.
heal.
Maybe
I know.
we need to get him on the show.
I know. I'm trying.
We need to bring him next Saturday.
I know. I'm trying.
That would be awesome.
He hasn't quite wrapped his head around it yet. So I'm more into it for him than he is. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Julie, thank you so much for
Thank
coming and
you.
sharing with us. It was a pleasure meeting you. And
Pleasure to meet you. You're
don't
such
be
a good person.
Thank you. So are you. And don't be a stranger. Come by and
Thank you
visit
so
us
much.
again. All
Bye,
right,
everyone.
bye-bye. And I want to say real quickly to Deborah Reed, thank you for that super thanks. Thank you for sending your love, and we are sending love back to you. All right, so next up is Tanya. We'll see what Tanya's up to while we're waiting for her. All right, so what was I talking about? I was going to mention Facebook because I was speaking to Ariel about that. You know, we talk on Facebook or something. But if you want to friend me on Facebook, I'm accepting friends until I reach 5,000. And my name is Jeff Reynolds. Mara is my dear wife. That's not my last name, for those of you that don't know that. So that's how you find me. And we also have a JeffMara podcast Facebook page if you want to, like and follow that. Tanya, can you hear me?
Hi.
All right. I like your new background. Very cool. And you got a shirt on too. Thank you so much, Tanya. Wow. It looks awesome. That's I really like that. It's better than mine. That background is super cool. Where did you get that?
I figured I put it on to remind people to go to your site and buy your merch.
Thank you. By the way, while you said that, I want to say that we have a new mug out. I was trying to work on that it was designed by our very own audience member, Penny here. So I don't know if Penny's here or not, but she designed me one, and it's like a heart with wings. So if you haven't had a chance, check it out. See what she put together for us.
I will check it out, definitely.
Yeah. But thank you so much.
I love coffee also.
Oh, great. And thank you so much for telling everybody about our merch. And if you had a recent sleep paralysis again or something, what's going on?
I did. So, I don't know if you remember, I told you that it takes me a couple of months in between OBEs or astral projections or whatever it is that is going on. So I've been having a little bit of a sleep paralysis here and there, but nothing happened. So last night I thought of drinking a little bit of water and before going to bed. And when I drink the water, I said, I'm drinking this water so that I can remember any OBEs, any astral projections, any dreams, anything. And then tomorrow morning, I will drink a little bit more so that I can, complete the cycle and remember what happened during the night, right?
That's a great idea.
Yes, so that's what I did. And I went to bed, and as normal, I wasn't thinking of anything. I was just laying there in bed. And then I started to feel the energy. It will come and go with like my breathing and stuff. And then I will feel the electricity on my hands, I say electricity, but it's just like a energy field. And then you start feeling like your body parts are kind of like floating or something like that. And then at one moment, that's when the sleep paralysis came, like fully into my body. But this time I remember to relax. I remember immediately, I'm not going to freak out. This is normal. Nothing is going to happen. And I just relax. And when I relax, immediately, I with my third eye, I saw half of my body stand up. Like when you stand up on the bed because you're going to get out of bed. So I stand up like that. So half my real body, physical body, was laying in bed. And then the other half, the soul, was sitting on the bed. And then my legs were straight, right? And I felt as they moved to the right, like when they floated to the right together.
Do you feel like you were forcing yourself to float, or you was doing it spontaneously?
Spontaneously. I wasn't forcing anything. I'm sorry, the camera.
It's okay.
And I wasn't forcing anything. I didn't plan for it, anything like that. I just drank the water, and I said, I'm gonna drink this water so that I can remember any OBEs or any astral projections, any dreams, anything like that. And I drank the
Sorry to
water.
interrupt you, but did you say that out loud or just think that?
I just think in my mind while I was drinking the water. And
That's
then,
awesome.
yeah, so then after I felt my legs move to the side, that's when I took off. And I was able to see, like when I was going through the sky, and then when I was leaving the earth. And then so I'm looking at the earth, it's a huge planet, right, for us. And I'm looking at it, and I'm seeing how big it is. And I almost got scared of it, because I was like, whoa, this is a new view that I haven't experienced before. So it almost took my, I don't know, I kind of like, it shook me a little bit, but I said to myself, no, I'm not going to get scared, because I want to see where this is going, right? So I'm like, I'm not gonna get scared. And then I shook myself out of that. And then I continue going on and on and on, away and away from Earth. And then I was like in the nothingness. It was just black, like nothing happened. So then I was there, and I was thinking, why am I like just here in the nothingness, right? In the blackness, in the void, whatever you want to call it, out in the space. And then I started to think like, well, I didn't have any intentions. I didn't set any intentions. So what I did is that I thought to myself, well, I'm going to ask my guardian angel to take me to heaven, or the Akashic records, because sometimes you talk about that. So I remember about that. I'm like, oh, maybe I want to go and see the Akashic records. So that was it. I don't know what happened in between. All I know, I don't know how long later on, how many minutes, hour happens. But then the next time when I felt leaving my body again and going through the atmosphere out, Now I felt I wasn't by myself. Now I felt somebody else was with me. I'm thinking that was my guardian angel, just like I asked. And we were going up through the space, and then eventually I got to this place that was like a garden. It was a garden, and it was like different people, groups of people talking to each other as like calmly, like peaceful, like that. And I was there and I look at it, but then I fell asleep. I came back. I don't know what happened, but I was somewhere. I saw people, and it was kind of like a park, not a garden, a park. And then that was it. And then when I came to my body again, that I opened my eyes, I remember everything, just like I said that I was going to when I drank the water before I went to bed.
So, on the first time, because it sounds like you had 2 trips, did you, I didn't hear you say anything about coming back. Did you just kind of fall asleep, or what happened?
Yeah, that's what I say. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened in between, like if I fell asleep again or if something happened. All I know is that it was like I was in blackness. I asked my guardian angel to take me to heaven or maybe see the Akashic records, and then it went blank. I went blank, and then the next time that I regained consciousness again, I'm going through the atmosphere again, going up and away from Earth. But this time I felt like I wasn't by myself. Somebody was there with me,
Right.
but I didn't see it. I didn't see my guardian angel.
But
And then the next time, it wasn't black like the first time, that everything just went black, like I'm in a void or something. No, this time it was light that formed into this park where I saw this different package of groups of people talking to each other, doing something. Like I just saw them all around me in this place that was like a park. And then that was it though. Then I don't know if it is that I fell asleep or whatever, but the next time when I wake up and I open my eyes, then I remember both sleeps.
So when you woke up finally in the morning or whenever it was, did you automatically remember, or did you have to finish the cycle and drink water first and then it came back to you?
No, I actually wake up during the morning. It was like dark still. Like I woke up and it wasn't like daylight. I didn't even look at the clock or anything. But I got up, I used the restroom, I drank the water, because I don't know if you do that, but when I go use the restroom and I come back, I drink water before I go back to bed again. And then so I did the same thing, but even before I drink the water after I came from the restroom, like I already remember everything, like because it was kind of like fresh in my
That's awesome.
mind still.
Well, that's awesome that you were able to control your emotions and, be able to take a trip.
Yes. I mean, I'm learning, right? I'm learning still, but I remember the last time that I got the sleep paralysis and I got so scared and all of that. So I told to myself, next time I'm not gonna get scared. Next time I'm not gonna get scared. So when I felt this sleep paralysis come to me, it's like immediately I went into like, I'm not gonna get scared. This is normal, it's okay. And it was just like an easy transition into it. Immediately I sat up, or my soul sat up, and then my legs kind of like floated to the right together, and then I was out.
When you finally woke up in the morning, were you exhausted or do you feel like you were well rested?
Actually, I got up, I ate breakfast and everything, but then I took a nap actually, and I didn't wake up again until like 2 in the afternoon or something.
So this was last night?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Well, maybe you'll get to the level now where you just take a trip all the time. Then you start seeing other beings and stuff.
Yeah, maybe because I'm still kind of like, when I'm in there, I'm not really like active. I'm still just like a viewer. I'm just like looking, and it's not really like an active stuff where I'm like moving myself. My soul is moving around in different places and talking to different people. Like, I'm not at that level yet. But I wanted to come over here and share these experiences because I hope that this will help someone when they are going through that, to know like how to react or what to do or something, you know.
No, I think it's great, and I appreciate you for coming and sharing.
Thank you.
Well, Tanya, I got to run. I think I got like 4 people waiting on me. And so,
All right.
I think someone in the chat was saying, oh, my wife wanted to let you know that you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right. Well, thanks for coming, Tanya. You have a great night.
All right. Good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The audio interviews.
Maybe he's shy. Maybe.
So, Clark, if you're asking that you want to come on, but you don't want to be on camera, that is okay. If you'd like to come on and join us, if that's what you're asking. So, if that's true, then just get in line. We'll be here. We'll be here for you. All right. Jeff Thurber is next. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We'll see what he's up to. So far, it's been a busy night. It's been great. We'll put on a little music while we're waiting for him. So, by the way, so you saw what else is in the description below while we're waiting for Jeff here. There is a link to our NDE channel, which is just short videos of NDEs. And those are just the guests telling their experiences. There's no questions. Great. Jeff, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
So, by the way, so you saw... Just go ahead and mute the YouTube video. In the description below.
Oh, my mistake.
That's okay, so we won't be echoing.
Yeah.
NDE channel, which is just short videos of NDEs.
Sorry.
And those are just the guests telling their experience.
Okay, you hear me okay?
Got it. So thank you for joining us. And where are you Zooming from?
You know, I recently moved out to Tampa. I'll probably be moving to Miami pretty soon. I like to change things up.
So you're in Tampa right now?
Yep, Tampa. I'm about to probably accept a job in Miami.
Cool. That should be fun.
Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews on Miami, but we'll see what happens. You know, it'll be an adventure for sure.
There you go. So what do you have to share with us this evening?
You know, shit, I can't even see the camera, but at least you can hear me.
Yeah. You probably actually just put it behind a window or something. If you want.
It's exactly what I did. I got a bunch of stuff open, but you know, I'm probably a little bit unique compared to some of the other guests. I know we got a lot of believers on here, and I would say I'm not a skeptic per se, that I don't think something's going on, but I'm more of I feel like humanity isn't intelligent enough to really even come close to knowing what's really going on behind the scenes. That's
okay, that's interesting. So you're not skeptic. You're kind of I don't know, skeptical or not skeptical, but you are willing that we're not intelligent. That there is possibly something going on behind the scenes. We just are not intelligent enough to know about it.
Right. I don't. Well, I mean, I don't think I think 100 years from now we're going to have vastly different answers about whether the supernatural is part of the natural and how that extends to things. And all these other things. So I think that we have clues, but I don't know. So I'm just, I guess what I'm saying is I'm so neutral about all this. I'm
That's
just
okay.
curious. And
Yeah.
so for me, when I'm telling a story, it's not, I don't have any sort of leaning towards it emotionally. It's just like, oh, that was interesting, you know?
And so have you personally had any type of experience that would be
Sure, yeah.
classified as supernatural or
I would
paranormal?
classify it as interesting. One that I'll give a lot of credence towards, which was more of a third party thing, is I was hanging out with my brother-in-law and his brothers. We were all just having a couple of beers out at a fire pit, and my brother-in-law starts telling this story about how he and his brother had a bunk bed together, and one night in the middle of the night, a sort of, I don't know if he said cloaked, but a very dark figure floated into the room, and he put his hand through the figure, and his brother saw him do it. So when two people see the same thing, that usually to me gives a little bit more credence to it.
Yes. Now, do you think they were just joking with you, or do you think they were telling the truth?
No, I believe they absolutely believe they saw something, and I believe that they did see something. I don't think it was just both of them believing they saw something. I believe, but I have no idea exactly what that was, and I'm not going to try to say I have any clue.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying. So
let me ask you this. Did you see the podcast I did with the psychiatrist that's, I don't know if he's on staff at Yale or Princeton?
I don't think I did. I'll have to look that up. That sounds interesting.
He's a psychiatrist that I had a podcast with, and the church calls him in when they suspect that a person may need an exorcism, but they want a second opinion first to make sure that the person is not psychotic.
Right.
And most of the time, from what I get, they're psychotic. But there has been, according to him, some rare instances where he truly felt like the person was possessed.
Right.
And he also said, I think, that he saw a woman about 80 pounds pick up a 250-pound man and throw him across the room.
Yeah. And again, there are nuanced things out there that I will still just say I can't explain that yet. And so to me, again, whether it's inexplicable or otherwise, it doesn't really matter, because I think another way to put it is that the supernatural might just be, it's just an extension of the natural world we don't understand, and the physics don't apply to it in a way that we can comprehend. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, I like that you're honest and you are not just believing anything blindly. You're looking for the truth, and I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's just fascinating stuff. But what's more interesting about that night, though, even beyond that, is their brother. He's kind of a hard case. He's probably atheist. He's kind of a mean dude. Like, he, for whatever reason, he liked me. Okay, maybe a martial arts background, whatever, respected me. But he's kind of like he would just call someone, you know, a moron for believing in anything. He's just that kind of guy. But he all of a sudden went into a rant, and he said in that house he saw Indians dancing around the coffee table. And then he just kind of snapped back out of it and said, no, I didn't. And it was really strange, because they were saying, I believe it was sort of that typical, what you hear about Indian, Native American, I don't want to say burial, because that's very Poltergeist movie-esque, but something Native American territory related is where their house is built on. So
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah. And so that was pretty interesting that night. But I have had some personal experiences here and there, and you know, again, I don't know. I who knows? But I was in a quote unquote haunted hotel, just exploring it with my girlfriend years back, and out in Flagstaff, Arizona, and couldn't tell you the name of it. I could look it up. It had these old climbing ladders and all this cool stuff. We were just walking around, looking at the architecture and enjoying it. And so nobody was around. and all of a sudden we got a whiff of perfume. And we looked everywhere, and nobody, I even walked downstairs to see if anybody was in the kitchen, but we didn't hear anybody walking, nothing. So it was just out of nowhere. And I don't know what to equate that to, because we weren't like, as far as I could tell, because I investigate this stuff. You know, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I feel analytical enough where I'm just like, wait, let's eliminate all the possibilities of where that could have just come from. So I don't remember seeing any vents around or being next to a door, and it was just like out of nowhere, just whoa, there's some perfume. And so,
And you both smelled it, right?
Yeah, we both confirmed it, and it made no sense. It was just like there all of a sudden, right in our noses. So that was interesting. And
what is your take on the UFOs, especially the Tic Tac ones that the government has released?
Yeah, that I want to research it more, because I have seen, you know, the guy who came out who talked about how he wouldn't want to talk about this stuff because he would get chastised for bringing it up, and so, you know, the video of that. I think my take is, first of all, I mean, there's so many different. I feel way less confident on an answer about what's happened within the United States or even the world in terms of UFO sightings. However, the universe is so absolutely vast that there's no way we're the only intelligent life form out there. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we are not close to the most intelligent. So just because it's so damn huge, there's no way. It's just illogical. So in terms of the existence of other beings, 110%. 110% believe that. I just don't know about the nuances of visitations and things. That to me, I'm kind of on the fence on what's what there. But yeah.
Before I let you go here, I want to see one more thought, what your thoughts are. What do you think about something like the pyramids of Egypt? How do you think those were built?
Yeah, that's an insane concept. Just the fact that they did that alone, and I have heard a couple of those theories about UFO involvement, and that's one of those ones. You know what? I would like to do a little bit more research on, because I feel like that is something that would interest me, and I just haven't looked into deeply enough.
Yeah,
But
let me look at my own personal thing here. If you go to my own personal Facebook page, I saw this somewhere and I just reposted it on my page, and it shows this machine trying to lift up one of those giant rocks that they, I guess, built the pyramid is. Here it is. And the machine's having a lot of difficulty lifting this rock. Anyways, they saying, and to putting it into context, there are 4 million blocks in the pyramid, and you would have to position a block every 2 to 4 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 25 years to have it finished before the pharaoh died.
yeah, it's insane. So to rule out some sort of tertiary involvement,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say no. There's so much. We had the dark ages. Maybe we just got kind of dumb for a minute. We came, I don't know if we had something back then that we're not aware of. Who knows? So
yeah, well, I definitely don't think it was built with bronze tools.
I mean, that's just insane, right?
Yeah,
it's so crazy, the whole situation.
But Jeff, I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your sincerity, and I think it's great that you're not just going to believe anything blindly. You want to see something to back it up, and I appreciate you coming and sharing your point of view with us tonight.
All right, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. You have a great evening. All right, Leslie Kings is here. Let's see if he's going to be able to join us this week. Last week he tried, and we couldn't get any audio from him. So we'll see where he's at this time. We've got 300 people here. We've had around 300 people here for a while, so there should be at least 3 people in my waiting room trying to get in. Leslie, can you hear me?
Very well now.
All right, we got audio this time. Congratulations.
How about the piano?
We got it. We have it. Bravo. What happened last week? Did you figure out what happened?
Yes. Very simple. Don't take serious what I share.
What?
You had no don't take serious what I share, but you have no tie last week. So therefore, doesn't work anything. Just joking. I like to teach you one little sentence.
Okay.
Kung hei fa choi.
I'm having trouble hearing you. Your voice is a little low. Your
Really?
piano's good. Do you think you can up your volume of your microphone?
Yes. One. Oh, yes. Need a little bit more.
Okay. What was the sentence you wanted to teach me?
Is it better now?
It's about the same.
Oh, really? Really lift it up.
I think when you lean forward, you get closer to your microphone, and that's what's making it louder.
Yeah.
That's
But
better.
I hear
There
it's
you
better,
go.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. I need to buy a mixer one day, so step by step. The piano must be better back. Okay. So the word is kung hei fa choi.
Konke fa choi.
Very close. Yeah. Kung hei fa choi.
Konke fa choi. Is that Chinese?
This is Cantonese, yes.
Cantonese?
And asking not just you, but especially audience, if somebody know what is this. Kung hei fa choi. And they can typing in English what means kung hei fa choi. And I have a celebration song to the light. You know, we have many light songs. Really, I composed 6 last time. I sent for you a few. Now I have the 7s. Very short.
So we've got an answer to your from the chat from Straw Piglet. He's saying Konke fa choi means Happy New Year.
This is Chinese New Year exact today.
Oh, it's today.
Happy
Wow.
Chinese New Year.
Oh, that's
yes.
awesome. That's great. Happy
Wow.
Chinese New Year, everybody. What are we in? The year of the rabbit now, right?
Rabbit. Yes, rabbit. Let's, compose a song is not a big problem. The more problem for how to play, for the two things, playing and playing. But I try. Okay. So the piano is okay?
Yes.
Very, very. Okay. So, let's try. As long as I am the Word, I am the light of the Word. As long as I am in the Word, I am the light of the Word, says Jesus. As long as I am in the Word, I am the light of the Word. As long as I am in the Word, I am the light of the Word. As long as I am in the Word, I am the light of the Word. As long as I am in the Word, the light of the Word. As long as I am in the Word, I am the light of the Word. As long as I am in the Word, I am the light of the Word. I am the light of the Word. I am the light of the Word.
All right. Bravo. You gave it a little, you made the spiritual song, gave it a little pop edge to it today.
Yeah. today, channeling. Very special today. For we have an empty paper here.
Mm-hmm.
And I write a word. And the audience maybe find out what I write here. So empty, and I put a place for I don't touch, so no any fake. So you have it doing, okay. And I put, oh, we have no other, oh, it's coming, the other camera. Okay, it's coming. Yeah. Okay, now you can connect. Okay, that means here I need to open the video and start.
There we go.
Okay,
There we go.
Oh, no.
Are you going to channel a song for us today?
Yes.
All right. For those of you that are new here, Leslie channels. Well, that last piece was a composed piece, but he live channels music as he's playing. He live channels. Isn't it? I guess I just made that up. A live channeled music. I don't know if I did or not actually.
You did a very clear, and I use this word. You know, in this podcast, I learn how to, in English in America, we say podcast, podcast, so okay. So I learned something from you, and there was musical landscape painting. Musical landscape painting. This
an MLP. Musical landscape painting.
Exact. So you put this name last time and this is really. So you have very many talent, honestly, Jeff, how you're sensitive, find out character, things, finding. But
all right, paint a picture for us.
Yes, and a little help for what I wrote is one of the word of 4 words. So can choose which word I wrote on the paper. This is the 4 elements of our word. The earth, water, air, and fire. I repeat once again, earth, water, air, and fire. And I put one word on the paper, what I picturing from my heart. As not means for anybody can do wrong, if it's not matching, if you write this word or this. But after when I finish, I show what I wrote. For what is in my heart now, and channeling, downloading, and channeling with love to you. So choose one word and write in there.
So you want us to guess which element you're going to be channeling.
Yeah, Mara said yes.
She said yes. All right, maybe they can type it. Maybe you don't look in the chat, and everybody can type it in the chat, so then we can see which one.
Very good. I cannot see, the chat for
right.
The setup.
So we can see we'll all guess what your channel. Should we wait? Should we decide now before you play or while you're playing?
Definitely, I channeling what is, I painting this picture, this word.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see for how people receiving. He do one of this. And right. I believe he do this word. I will say the other. But maybe some other people think totally different.
Okay.
No problem.
Because people are already typing elements into the chat.
Even I don't play whatever.
No, they're having a premonition. They're already having a premonition of what you're going to play.
Oh, wow. Very prophetic today.
Yes.
Predictions, music, yeah. Oh, no. Let's choose maybe this sound. Today we have no angels here. Let's do some synthesizer. Okay, so.
Bravo, bravo, bravo. So I see quite a few saying that's either air or water.
What do you see? Black.
Uh-oh, you played the void, huh?
No. This one.
Water, all right. Actually, that was my guess.
That
was my guess.
Synchronicity. Oh, thank you very much. We have much more interesting next time.
Thank you. Before you go, are you still doing your live streams on your YouTube channel on Friday nights?
Yes.
Great.
You know, last time I had troll visitors.
You had 30 visitors?
No, troll.
Oh, you had a troll. Oh,
troll visitors also. So
said, that's too bad.
Oh no, this is the right way. You know, when bad coming up from beginning. Thank you. We are right place.
Oh,
so that was very cool.
Oh, that's great. Well, if you guys want to see more of Leslie on Friday nights, he live streams music from, what is that? Are you saying? 8 o'clock. What is that? Central, East? What time is that? Time zone?
This is in a home. Wow, this is a good to know. Central is your timing is Friday 8 o'clock. In Hong
Yeah.
Kong, is for us it's Saturday 10 o'clock morning, but we just, if you think about America, it's central. This is 8 o'clock evening, your time.
So 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, and so on Friday nights. So
Yes, yes.
take a stop by Leslie's and, say hello and listen to some music if you have some time.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Leslie, thanks for joining and hanging out with us.
God bless you.
God bless you. And I can't remember. I was
Hai Fa Choi.
and Kong Hai Fa Choi. All right, take care, brother. All right, so that was Leslie, and we've got Raphael up next. So we'll admit him and see what Raphael's up to. I can hear it. There he is. Raphael, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. You've been here before, haven't you?
Yes.
I thought I recognized you. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm happy that it works now.
All right. I'm trying to remember. Are you from California?
From San Diego.
There you go. All right. So I'm starting to remember. Yes. So what's been new with you?
Nothing. It was just going to Sweden in 3 weeks.
You're going to Sweden?
Yeah.
Maybe. Cool. Maybe. What are you going to do over there?
Just travel and find a castle with my girlfriend.
Oh, nice. That should be a lot of fun. It's probably going to be cold over there, right? Still winter time.
It's going to be cold. I'm trying to program ourselves so that we're going to buy a castle one day. So we're like,
hey, that's great. Manifest it.
Somehow. Yeah.
Manifest it. Do it.
Yeah, I know, right?
So have you had any new paranormal experiences lately?
I wanted to share a little more on my near-death experience. Go a little further.
Yeah, let's do it. Remind me. I'm so sorry, but remind me about your NDE real quickly. What happened?
Yeah, I had an NDE and I was in my room and I saw a light that and I knew at that point that it was time.
And then you left your body.
And then I left my body, exactly. So then I left my body and I went into the light and I saw all my family members that had passed away on the other side greeting me and they were all laughing and smiling and it was just a really nice welcoming party.
That's great.
on that part and being welcome on the other side. And then from there, I went into the life review. So today I'd like to talk a little more on the, what happened in that chamber, in that part of the life review. Because last time I talked in your show, I was kind of very brief. So today I wanted to just go a little further.
Okay. Would you say that your life review was like you witnessing it and watching it, or was it like a re-experiencing, like really a life relive?
It's both. It was both. So it was like seeing like a movie, but then at the same time you were basically inside the movie, and then you were also everybody in the movie. So you sort of.
I was going to say, since while you were reliving it, witnessing it, etc., were you looking at it from a different point of view where you were, do you feel like when you were looking at it from a new viewpoint, you were more accepting of what you did?
Yeah, it was it's a state of mind, of bliss, of joy, of happiness. There's no judgment. I think as far as even if you made mistakes, it was just, that's for you, there was, and then so there's a council as well. Like there's like a council of just called the council of light that are there to sort of show you the life review, and each one of those councils represented like a different lesson and virtue. And as far as like you stand at a point, like there is no judgment, there is no you'll basically realize that your mistakes were something that you made a mistake, but it was part of the lesson that everybody ended up learning even from your mistakes, because there is actually no mistakes. Like everything is kind of like pre-planned. And as far as even if there was mistakes that you made, you learn from those mistakes, you reflect on them, and even those mistakes that you made, they were not really mistakes. They were there to help the other person, in their evolution as well. So at the end, in the greater scope of the whole life review, you realize that everything was to help everyone. And then you realize, and then you become all those persons. So then if you were, in that space, you did, something kind, something, you help an old lady across the street, or you were kind to a stranger with a nice smile, or you gave someone you made him laugh, or that's where I also wanted to share, because in the life review, they show you the ripple effect. That was something that was really, very profound, and emphasized in my experience, that how the ripple effect of our actions, our good deeds, went across, through all the people. Like if I help someone, and how that ripple effect of me helping with an act of kindness and compassion, how that person that I helped ended up having, that person also was affected tremendously, in their life, and how that person was able to then be kind to, her daughter, for example, and then how her daughter was able to be kind to her husband or to her kids, and how the kids were kind to their classmates. So it was like a ripple effect of how one of my actions, acts of kindness or compassion, was able to have a ripple effect on across, to other people.
Mhm.
And it's something that also, not just as far as like, you can take this even further, because as we realize that as we become more aware, and I think that's where we're heading to, as in this new consciousness, where people are becoming more aware of our actions, our good deeds. And so then, the more we are able to help, expand the awareness, and the kindness and the love, the more the ripple effect goes across the board. So the more, it's not just across people, but then people make better choices in life, as far as they wanted to help, the earth, the environment, the ecosystem, animals, trying to help animals, protect animals. So that's one of the things that in that life review was, it was very profound, the experience of how our actions of kindness and compassion sort of have this ripple effect in helping people. So that's something I kind of want to do, with my girlfriend Linda. Is like create some kind of system that we want to create, where we want to help people with understand the life lessons. And because every experience in life has a life lesson, and nothing happens by accident. Like nothing. Like every single experience has a lesson to be learned. Of course, the most difficult ones, it's the ones that you have to forgive, or the ones that you have to let go, or you have to be patient, and stuff like that. There are the hard ones, but every single life, if you're able to decode every life experience, there's a life lesson to be learned. So I think that's something that we want to do. We want to be able to categorize different experiences, different life lessons, and then give examples of how each each experience in life, even the hardships, that's actually where there's more learning, that it happened for a reason. It's not, so that's the whole point with trying to help people understand the whole experience of life lessons. So that's one of the sectors we want to focus on. And then the other one, it's basically, how, if we're able to reflect on the ripple effect to do a life review, encouraging people to do life reviews of their days, see how they went, and see, and then for the next day to reflect, oh, maybe I could do it better the next day, so I can reflect on my mistakes or what I could have done better. And then the next day I'll be, kinder to people. I'll be more compassionate. I'll try to help, giving someone a nice smile, or help an old lady across the street, or so where you start improving yourself, and be aware of that each action, each kind word, each kind smile, that actually it's a ripple effect that it will go across to other people, and to everything, in your environment, because this doesn't affect just the people, but it actually affects the whole environment, the plants, the earth, because in the life review, you actually become everything, not just, you don't just become other people, but you become like the earth, the trees, the rocks. So you start becoming everything. So then you start seeing how your energy field, your aura, how the more loving and kind, and how that ripple effect affects everything in that environment. So that's something that I think that we like to bring across so that people are aware. So the more positive, the more loving, the more kind, then the more that ripple effect of love that you project across to other people. So that's what it was. There was more of the profound experience to learn in the life review, and also that the council of light that represented each one of those virtues kind of represented, they really are our higher self, or the oversoul. So they're just our fraction of us. Because a lot of people sometimes will say, oh yeah, I saw the council of light in my life review, or there's angels and stuff, but they really are you. They really are ourself. That's just the oversoul. It's a fraction of who we really are. So that's also what I was shown in the life review. Was I realized that each one of those councils was really me. And I was able to, you have to get to that level of understanding and awareness, and that's something we want to come across as well. That it's about mastering the lessons, and each one of those lessons it's the council, and each one of those is really you. So that's the whole thing with the life review. So that's one of the things. And then the other thing that I like to share as well, a little more today, was besides the life review, and it's that in the life review also, in that when I was shown it with the council of light, they show me the cycle of reincarnation and how the whole matrix kind of works. And I was able to see that all the lifetimes are happening at the same time. They're all happening because there are time in the higher dimensions. It's all happening at the same. There is no time. There is no past lives, no future lifetimes. They're all really happening at the same time, just at different frequencies. And so then, as you start becoming more aware and you start having more experiences, or start going up in dimensions, then you start having access to these parallel lives. So you're able to quantum jump into these parallel lives. And it's really fascinating how I've experienced it myself. I was able to go into my higher self and then travel, like, kind of like astral projecting, or like in a wormhole into a parallel, to a life. And then all of a sudden I travel in a wormhole, and all of a sudden I'm like a Viking in Scandinavia. And as I project, I'm traveling like at the speed of light, and then I see all of a sudden the whole environment, and then I see this family, and then I see this Viking, and then I go inside the Viking and I see my family, and so then that's one experience. And then I come out, and then another experience was like, I was in Greece, and I was one of the founders of democracy, and I was able to go, the same thing, you travel through a wormhole, and then you come in, here I am in Greece, and then all of a sudden you see this person in building democracy, and then all of a sudden I realized that's me. And so there's parallel lives for being a king, or being a slave, being a warrior, just pioneer, and just different. They're all happening at the same time. But it's really fascinating that you can start having access to those parallel lives. I saw one of my future lifetimes as well.
Oh wow!
I was really fascinated that when I lived in England, I was taking the underground, the metro, and I was going down. It was a nighttime, so I was by myself. And then all of a sudden, I saw how everything started changing, the whole matrix. So then I went into the future, and I saw like there was like signs, like holograms saying, buy your apartment in Mars, or go to university in Mars, or go buy your condo in the moon. So it's just like we're like going to be living in different planets, and so it's
That's
like more
awesome.
like really interesting. And then I was able to see this man that appear out of nowhere. And then I went in, so it was going through the veil, so I was able to go through the veil to get basically parallel lives. Then I was able to go into that body of that guy that was, all of a sudden he appeared in the metro as well. And then I realized that was me in the future. And then I was wearing some kind of like a little hood, and then I just took it off, and I realized that I saw Raphael. And then all of a sudden I went back into my body, Raphael, and I realized that was me into the future. And
well, now I know why you're now I know why you're going to Sweden, because you said you were there as a Viking, so maybe you're somehow drawn to that place.
I know. And that's how I feel.
Are you and your girlfriend creating some kind of journal or something, so that, or to help people have their own life review here before they cross over?
We're talking about it, and we're gonna create it. We want to create it, and you know, like Linda, she's incredible. She's so like, she comes up with so many different ideas, and I tell her that she's really connected to the universal consciousness, or to the Akashic records, or the great central sun, which is the center of the universe, because that's how I've experienced it. That everything, all ideas, come from the Akashic records, or the center of the universe, or the great central sun, and they are sent out in waves and frequencies, and then people, are able to receive those ideas like an antenna. So all ideas through all technologies and everything that's been invented, they come actually from the source, or the Akashic records, and then people are able to have an access, or tune into that frequency. And Linda has an incredible ability to, she doesn't even know, but I tell her, this is what really is happening. You're able to really have access to the Akashic records, or to that frequencies. And so she has a lot of ideas that right now we've just been talking about it, where we're trying to put everything together, where we were trying to talk about this, and then we try to bring how positivity and laughter has a great effect, and just in people's lives. And then also maybe she really wants to push in also as far as the whole corporate, how the whole corporate system, and it's so unfair with the wages, and
Right.
the whole system of people
Right.
want to work. So she really wants to push that, and so we
Right.
want to try to create like a new model, so that we have the new corporate consciousness that can be introduced to the world and stuff. So
When you come back from Sweden, check back in with us, because it would be interesting to see if you have a deja vu while you're there. Because if all, and another guest recently talked about that all lives are happening at the same time, just how you explained it basically. So I would be curious to see if while you're there you'll have some type of deja vu, because this life will be overcrossing something that's happening there at the same time, so that you're in the same space. If you were in Sweden as a Viking. But that'll be interesting
it'll
to
be interesting. We're
see
staying
if
in the
some.
castle too, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, Raphael, thank you for coming and sharing with us. Don't be a stranger. And like I said, I hope to see you back when you get back. Have an amazing trip. I wish you a lot of fun.
Thank you
And
so much. Yeah, I've still got like 3 weeks, so still a couple of weeks. So I'm not being your show again before.
oh, well, thank you. Well, if you want to come back before you go.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Have a great evening.
All right, Jeff. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye,
Adios,
Linda.
Bye.
Yeah, I said bye, Linda. If you didn't hear me, bye, Linda. All right, so it was a busy night tonight, guys. It was, we started right off the bat with people here, and it went overtime. We're already into overtime. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming and sharing with us. And I didn't even get a chance to tell you what's coming up for next week. And I've already recorded a couple. Tomorrow's podcast is a woman who had an NDE during her brain surgery, so I hope you guys will enjoy that. Let me kind of look at my schedule here so I can see who's what. And then Mondays is with a woman from England, and we talked about sacred dreaming and the history of dreaming, and kind of, I don't know if you'd say dream analysis, but I think we did a little bit of dream analysis. But if you're into dreaming and dream temples and ancient times, and I think you will like this one. Her name is Sarah Janes. I recorded an NDE, so I'm really ahead. I've got another one that I recorded an NDE, and I forgot even what that was about. That was yesterday. And then this morning I recorded an NDE with a guy who went to purgatory, but it's not a scary one. So that was this morning that I recorded. So I've got the next 4 one already done. And where are we at on that? And then next week I've got another NDE to record on Monday. Was that Monday? Yeah, Monday. On Tuesday, I'm going to be with a pretty famous YouTuber with the YouTube channel Archaics. His name is Jason Brashears, and some of you asked me to get him on as a guest. And we will be talking about the sky simulations and what is the simulation going on in the sky. I think this should be a fascinating one. And a recent podcast that I had, we were a woman during her NDE, and I think she can still see it after NDE, see some kind of something in the sky, like it's a city or something mechanical in the sky. She has that ability now, and I think that this Jason Bershears talks about that. So I'll be recording him on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I think I spoke with, you were here in the beginning, Muji from Japan, talking about being able to live maybe up to 300 years old. And then on Thursday, I'll record another NDE. And on Friday, I have a very famous psychic from the United Kingdom. She was a television psychic. She was one of my first paranormal guests. It's been like about almost 3 years since I've seen her. Her name is Nikki Allen, and she's going to be returning. And then I have another NDE scheduled after that. So that's a lot of guests, a lot of scheduling. I hope you kept up with all that. I have a whole bunch of other stuff, but nothing every day. That's every day almost until then. But we still want to say thank you guys for coming tonight, and thank you for coming every night and listening. We really appreciate you guys. And I'm doing my best, I think, to try to give you guys value, and so I can reward you for coming every night. And I hope you enjoy this stuff. So, and as I've said before, this podcast has kind of become my own personal spiritual journey, and I think that, for many of you, it may be the same thing. We're kind of all making this journey together. So on that note, thank you again for coming tonight. We wish you the best. Happy Chinese New Year to you, as we found out.